Beginning audio log 1. Interview with the concept of death. There is no further details that should be elaborated on, as we will begin immediately. The first question I have for you, Death, is do you experience a sense of purpose or fulfillment in your role as the harbinger of mortality? Or do you ever question the nature of your existence?
I question the nature of existence all of the time. Not my own existence, but the nature of mortals. Why did the Creator create mortals? They feel pain and sadness. I've always wondered it, but it's not my place to ask.
Your indifference is notable and something that you're extremely well known for. The second question, how do you cope with the weight of responsibility that comes with guiding souls to the afterlife? And does it ever take a toll on you emotionally or spiritually?
No. I tend to stay indifferent towards the idea of a soul being guided to the afterlife, since I am not the one who does it. I'm simply the one who's there at their last moments, so that they can talk about their life. Typically, I offer a game of chess, or something along the lines of that.
Is there room for compassion or empathy in your interactions with mortals? Or are you bound by a sense of duty and inevitability? I understand your indifference, but it can't all be emotionless.
You are correct in that every single soul I show compassion and empathy, from the worst human who's ever lived to the sweetest human who's ever lived, notably a girl once named Cookie. We sat for hours in my time, in your time, merely milliseconds, and communicated with each other about simple things going on in her life. But she got it all off of her chest. I'm compassionate and empathetic, but I don't always show it. Only to the ones who are afraid. So to most mortals, yes, I show compassion in the end.
Do you ever feel conflicted about the role you play in the cycle of life and death? Particularly when faced with the suffering or loss of sentient beings. Like when mortals are in pain in their last moments, or their death causes more pain around the world. Does it ever trouble you?
The thing that troubles me most is the fear when they die. I don't necessarily consider the suffering up until the death. Death is just the completion of the suffering and of the love, the pleasure and the pain. I consider both things, but it is not my place to be conflicted about. That is something you may want to ask life.
Huh. As an immortal entity, how do you perceive the concept of time? And does it affect your perception of mortality and the passage of souls?
Time isn't linear. As death, I am able to manipulate it, so it can slow down fractions of what it normally is, so I have enough time to communicate to the souls. To you guys, it may feel like 1 microsecond, but to me and the soul, it will feel like a month, a year, days. Just to talk, and communicate. I spend time with every single soul.
Are there moments in your existence as death that bring you a sense of connection to the universe or a high purpose? Or a sense of clarity and pride?
No, except for when I'm able to help a soul that is so lost and sad and help them realize things are going to be okay. I think that is when I feel happiest.
Do you ever experience doubt about your role?
Again, no. I was the first to exist at all. So I, better than anybody else, understand the role of death. So no, I do not feel a sense of doubt.
How do you reconcile the inevitability of death with the desire for immortality or the fear of the unknown that mortals often have?
Fear isn't my place to speak on. The reconciliation is me simply existing. I can do nothing about it. I can't interfere or interact. I can only exist and do my job.
Are there aspects of mortal life that you find interesting, and how do they shape your existence, particularly with human life?
That's a really good question. The human figure is most notable, twisted in just the right amount, and it instills a survival response that causes emotions to be hypersensitive. So when I need to bring somebody into the afterlife, I will either make it to where they see me as a familiar face or a fearful one. Typically, it's a familiar face. But very often, people are afraid of death, and that is how I make people receive me. However they decide, it is up to them.
Do you believe in the existence of a higher power or universal force that governs the cycle of life and death? And if so, how do you perceive your relationship to it?
As a wise man once said, there is always a bigger fish. The Creator isn't the most powerful to exist. There is always somebody bigger than you. But even I will come for the Creator, but not the one above him. Yes, I do believe in a higher power. One that isn't mentioned within our universes.
And finally, for my last question, who do you think I should interview next?
How about Edgar? The concept of fear. Certainly he'll give you some... what's it called? Insight to the human experience. Have fun. He's an interesting person to talk to. He might poke and prod a little bit, but make sure he stays on task. That's just how he's always been. Have a good day. I will see you later.
Thank you for being so compliant. Bye.